Hi everybody, and welcome to the channel again. Today I've got something a little bit different for you. I've been in contact with Neil at Dab Shooting Supplies down in Darlington, and he's met up with me and handed over this unit. Now, it's a little bit unique. I believe it's the only one in the UK, and it's from this company, Yubeen Thermal Imaging. Now, I didn't even know that these guys existed, let alone getting hold of one of the products. But as I've said, Neil at Dab Shooting Supplies, he's got this through to me. I'm going to be doing a review, obviously, on it. It's a dedicated thermal scope, and to be honest, for what I usually do, a lot of grey squirrels, it's not ideal. You've seen that I'm using the DNT products, which I absolutely love, because you've got the thermal and you've got the day and night vision. That easily lets me identify whether it's a grey squirrel or not, because we've got reds in the area. So better safe than sorry. So what I will be doing when I go out and use this dedicated thermal, I'll be making sure I'm sat about 20 yards away so I can easily see that it's a grey squirrel before I take the shot. I'd never forgive myself if anything happened to a red. Now, the unit itself, I've literally just taken it out of the box. That's on the table there. I have no idea what the sensor size is. I know it's a 35mm lens, because somewhere on the box, there you go, that's the model ET35L. And as for anything else specification wise, no idea, but I do have a picture that gives you all the different models and gives you the full spec, so I'll put that within the video. What I'm also going to do is I'll put a link to Dab Shooting Supplies down in Darlington. David Bamlett, the guy that owns it, fantastic guy. If you need any supplies, quick turnaround on buying optics, next day delivery, so on and so forth, buy from him. Brilliant lad. I have bought a Hick Cheetah from him a while ago, and spot on service. So anyway, a little bit more about this that I've just had a quick look. On the top here is the focus for the thermal. So it just brings in that clarity at distances. This button here is the laser rangefinder, which is sat there, and it's also got built-in ballistics software. So I'll be setting all that up. This button here is for recording or taking still pictures, and then this here is, if you long press it, it's the menu button. Obviously I've not been into it yet. Within the box, what you get is an instruction manual, you get a charger, a USB-C connector, and you get 4 of these. If you can see on there, these are the 18500 batteries, so slightly smaller than what you'd use the 18650s in a DNT. But you get 4 of those included in the box. And this little thing here, if you unscrew that, if I can, and pop that open, you can see it takes 2 batteries in there. So it says on the box the battery life is 8 hours. It's got 4 ballistic modes. Quite a bold claim here. Penetrates 400 meters of dense fog. So I'm definitely going to be trying that. You've got picture-in-picture, a pre-record function, which is pretty standard on most units. And that's all it's telling me on the box. So I've mounted it onto my new Brocock Ghost in 177 sub 12. So I'm going to be getting out on the grey squirrels to start off with, because they're starting to hit the feeders again, and hopefully get out on some rats before the clocks go forward and it starts getting too late for me to go out. Right, I think that's about enough for this now. That instruction manual is going to be put back in the box, because as always I like to use these bits of kit without reading the instructions, just to find out how user friendly they are, because not everybody's tech savvy, and if it's user friendly, it's open to everybody. Yeah, so I'll see how to get on with that. Right, see you soon. Right, so I've been out with a rifle and I've zeroed it, which I found extremely easy. It's very much based, the screen and everything, if you've ever used a Hick Micro product, the software is pretty much the same. So very simple to use and to navigate through. I think I took 4 shots for the zero, and basically 1 shot into a piece of wood to give me my point of impact, and then you can freeze frame it and move to the impact point. But me being me, I wanted it to be absolutely perfect, hence why I used the 4 pellets. You can also choose a zoom in mode as well, up to 24 times mag, so you can get it literally on a pinhead if you want to. I'm not that bad. I've had a play around with the ballistics, and in all honesty it's a bit strange, and I mean that in a nice way, because when I've done ballistics on other units, you need to use a chronograph. You're basically measuring the height from the center of the lens to the center of the barrel. You need ballistic coefficients for the pellets, pellet grain, so on and so forth. Bizarrely, with this, you don't need any of that. What you do is, once you've zeroed it at your chosen distance, I did it at 30 yards, you then go into the ballistics mode, and there's a setting that's called ballistics slow and a ballistics fast. So the slow is for sub 12 foot-pound air rifles, the fast is for FAC. So I chose the slow, and then when you go into that menu, you can again freeze frame, zoom in, all this kind of stuff. But what you do is, I'm zero at 30 yards, so then I had a look at a target at 10 yards and I took a shot, and obviously the pellet was well below. So in the ballistics menu, all you do is go in, freeze frame it, and then move the point of aim that it gives you down to where the impact point was. Hit the button again, the menu button, and it saves it. And every time you aim at something at 10 yards, it'll give you that point of aim. Then what you do is go to 20 yards, repeat the process. Then out to 40 yards, repeat the process, so on and so forth. And it builds up a picture of where it needs to be. And each time in the menu you save it 10 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards, so on and so forth. You'll not need 30 because you've zeroed at 30. But it automatically works it out from that. So you do use quite a few pellets going through it because you have to take the shot and then alter it and then take another shot just to make sure that it's stored it correctly. And I've got to say, it's bang on. It just works. And I think it's called Ballistics AI. So that's how they've done it on this one. So there's no faffing around getting all your ballistic coefficients and that. You just go in and tell it where it's hitting and it works it out for you. So I think that's quite an ingenious way to do it, to be honest. The focus, I've noticed it does, and you'll see in the footage that I've got, it does go a little bit pixelated when you zoom in, but everything does, regardless. No matter what you're spending on these things, it'll pixelate, simple as. But in general, it's a cracking bit of kit. I've filmed a few sheep and deer, so on and so forth, ranging from like about 40 yards out to 350 odd, I think it were. And you can easily identify what they are. But when I did it, you've got to bear in mind that it was the weather conditions, clear, about 8 degrees. Not a bad day at all, to be honest, for thermal. So I'm looking forward to finding out what it's like when it's a bit foggy and misty, bit of drizzle about. Let's see what it can do with that, because like I've said, it's a bold claim. Penetrating 400 meters of dense fog is what it says. So anyway, enough from me. Let's get on the footage. I'm sat 20 yards away. I've ID'd this. Definitely a grey squirrel. Just needed to turn around a little. That's enough. And you can see where the pellet went straight through and hit there. First one down. It's a hen pheasant, but this is out of season, so it's not getting shot. It's gone behind a tree. She's bite. Coming for a free feed. This is on the menu though. Where's he gone? Here we go. "17 yards away. You can just see that twig in front of his head there. I need to move. I'm just messing with the focus now. Come on, fella. Zoom in a bit. That's better. Man down. So that there, that the crosshairs are on, is a grey squirrel. It's a dead grey squirrel. 274 metres away. You can tell that's a sheep quite easily. Let's see what they are. Picture there.